does it look like to grow a community versus an audience around your book? And what's the difference? Well, think about an audience. An audience tends to be more passive. They're watching, they're listening, but that engagement, that exchange is not going on a regular basis. So how do you get from creating an audience to creating a community? I would say it's all about the questions. I wrote a book that was called 75 Cage Rattling Questions to Change the Way You Work. Now, what was so interesting about that book was that people really resonated with the questions. They personalized the questions to themselves. For example, I once had the opportunity to, if you will, try out as a coach at Dean Foods. And it was to help run a women's group that would benefit the company by helping these women move into higher levels of management. I decided that in order to try out, the best thing for me to do was to show versus tell them what I was going to do. So I brought the book and I brought a question. And the question, which was the favorite question in that book, was, what would your organization look like if your mother ran it? Fascinatingly, there were at least 20 women in the room, all moving up the ladder in the organization. And they did have mixed responses, but they were all deep responses. They all resonated with the concept of the connection with mother, their mothers. Some said things like, oh, my mom would just turn this place around. Others said, my mother would wreck the place. But nonetheless, there was this connection. And truly, there was lots of laughter and also lots of tears with the connection. So try this out when you are building the connections with the people that you want to engage with you. And aren't you looking for a relationship that lasts year after year? Think of the questions that you can ask. Another tip I'll give you is one of the very best questions that I have asked others, and it appears that people benefit from, and it allows me, or it helps me grow a base of questions, is, what's the best question you've ever been asked? So you may not get a response at first, but ask it again. That's another tip on questions. It would be like asking someone, how are you doing? And then asking it again. That goes deeper because it shows you really mean it and you care. So when you're thinking of growing your community, which is what you want to grow, think of questions, think of having ongoing engaged exchanges, and most of all, focus on the value that you bring through the questions. So the final tip is, if the value you bring is indeed asking these great questions, spend time looking up on the internet. One of the things you can do is search for 10 best questions to ask in an interview, or 10 best questions to grow an audience, and turn them into a community. Use your power of research to find those wonderful questions that open up relationships. You open up relationships first before you close a deal. Remember that. And as always, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. There will be many more ideas and insights and tips and all kinds of things that you can do to create a sustainable community of support for you as you write your book, and that will make all the difference. I'm Melissa G. Wilson, Networlding and Networlding Publishing. Make it a great day.